I'm at McDougal Street. There's the cellar right there. Trying to find somewhere to film the week 3 recaps Saturday night also. Yalla. First of all, good evening everybody, and thank you for listening. I'm not sure if I mentioned it last week, but week 2 I was overwhelmed. I think I felt like I didn't know what to say on stage. Should I do my old material, my new material? Should I write something new? When can I write? I felt like I didn't have time to do everything I wanted in New York. I figured, you know what, let me make it simple. And I started working on my material as I'm walking in New York. Like, first I was not using anything, just my brain. Even my opening joke was the same for ages. You all know my opening joke. And I know there is more to it. I knew there was more to it, and I did expand it. So the first day, I refined some old material and I tested some new material. And I can see that I was slowly, finding my way. Thanks. I never really experienced snow before. This is my first time. So for the past 2 weeks, I've been wearing thermal pants with my underwear on top, looking like Superman. Today I couldn't wake up this morning because my alarm sounds like a lullaby. I did one mic on the first day, and then the next day I also did one mic. I was very scared my morning alarm would give me a heart attack, so I changed my ringtone to something more mellow. Now I can't wake up. I'm still alive. Okay. I took some magic beans and I'm gonna turn into a giant any moment now. And I kept going, it kept getting better. I kept on trying, and I started writing on the go. Like, I was just anything. I would use anything to write. Paper, pencil, my brain. I'll get it tattooed if I had to. I would use anything to write. I'm gonna write it on my hand if I had to. I'll say it until I'm home. I'll just keep saying the joke over and over again so I don't forget. The day after that, I did 2 mics, but I forgot to film one of them. I told my parents that I finally found a job. They said, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm joking." Can you be serious for once? I said, "Not till I get out of work." Just reps. That's it, reps. Oh, on the 27th, I did 4 mics. That day, I was like, okay, I'm gonna use each mic to refine my material even more. I did 2 mics in one place, and then I did another mic, and then later that night I went and I did another mic. I told my parents that I finally found a job. They said, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm joking." They're like, "Are you serious right now?" I said, "Not until I get off work." Then they're like, "How do you even make money?" I don't know. How do I look like? Central Bank? I don't know. I told my parents that I found a job. They said, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm joking." Then they're like, "Are you being serious?" I said, "Not until I get off work." They're like, "How do you even make money?" I said, "Make money? What do I look like? Central Bank?" You need to work. Sometimes I worry that I would never make it on time. But then I feel like it's better to make it on time than to time it on make. I wrote this today. And I was like, people are gonna like this. And then I said it out loud, and I said, I'm proud of myself. Yeah. told my parents I found a job. They said, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm joking." And they were like, "Are you being serious?" I said, "Not until I get off work." They were like, "How do you even make money?" I don't know. On the last day, I felt like, okay, I found my rhythm. I told my parents that I found a job. They said, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm joking." And they were like, "For once, can you be a little more serious?" I said, "Not until I get off work." My parents are worried about how I'm gonna make money. I'm thinking of how I'm gonna convince people to go back to the barter system. It's like, hey, I have 12 eggs. Can you give me some shoes?
Do not talk.
Oh, sorry.
Sid, come on.
I'm at work right now. More stage time was like more chances to learn more, to find out more, test more material, test my voice, test my pauses, test everything, test, reps. I love how fast I can craft my material in New York. In one day you can test a joke 4 times and it keeps getting better. You can't waste your time. You have to track yourself, track your material, listen to your videos, always find ways to make it better. Maybe I'm doing more mics than I did in Dubai, but I know I could have done more. For sure I could have done more mics, that's 100%. But I had to balance between experiencing New York City, because it's my first time here, and also doing what I wanted to do. I was really happy with week 3. Can't wait to show you guys what happened after. I guess that's it for week 3. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Now I'm gonna go now. I'm tired of carrying this notebook like I'm a 5-year-old. Gotta do what you gotta do. Even if what you do